Okay. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for participating to this info session on Jean Monnet. So, what Jean Monnet, maybe some of you already know the story. Is the person who participated to the creation of Europe by writing the Schuman Declaration. Is died in 79, and 10 years after, in 89, the Parliament and the Commission decided to build a new action called Jean Monnet in his memory, in order to facilitate um, the setup of the European integration via European studies. And in 2019, we have marked the 30 years of the existence of these activities. So now it is part of the Erasmus program, but it's now completely a key activity as such. Jean activities are a little bit apart, but still within the Erasmus Plus program. So that is the three main subjects I will present you. So the action of Jean Monnet, the two new actions in the field of education and training, other than for higher education institution, the funding mechanism, and the oral criteria. Just said just before, we have the three key activities for the Erasmus program, and the Jean Monnet continues a single integrated program. But it's a little look on the action Jean Monnet in the world. So as you can see, a lot of countries are already aware of the Jean Monnet activities. So what is actually the definition of the European Union studies? So it is the European studies, as it's written, comprise the study of Europe in its entirety, not only the European Union, but Europe in general, with an emphasis of the European Union, of course, and the dimension in two ways, in an internal and way, and in a global perspective, in the changing world we are all living. So enhancing the awareness of the European Union, that's their main point. So what is very important is that even if the joint activities, let us say, touch the academic world and the teaching delivery, we ask the promoters to touch also the European citizenship and to deliver the values of the European citizenship, actually. Because that is the European integration. It's not only the academic as such, the teaching course for students, but you should also touch the civil society by different events or by different channels of communication. The European Union, the awareness of European Union in the globalized world, as I said, facilitate future engagement as well as people-to-people dialogue, vector of public diplomacy in the third country, promoting EU values and enhancing the visibility of the European Union. That's very important, but because, as we can say, maybe the European democracy is not the best way to to make life very great in general, but we say that is also not the it's a good way to promote it in different countries. It should be EU studies is called as such as long as it is explored as an EU angle. So the action actually in detail. So we have the action that touched the higher education institution. That was that were already existing the previous multi-annual financial framework, 2014-2020. You know that now we enter the new multi-financial framework, MFF, is it 2021 to 2027, because actually the European Union has a living budget of 7 years from its creation. And then we have two other action that touch the sphere of the schools actually. That is new. There's a new action this year. It is a teacher training and network for school and vet providers. I will explain that later on. And for the moment, only the Erasmus Plus program countries can apply for these two new action. As Erasmus program countries, we call we say of course the member states and the other countries like the one of the EEE, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway, and the pre-accession and adhesion request to the European Union that say that Turkey, Macedonia, and Serbia. So the joint action, what is the purpose, the aims of this action in the higher education? It's to promote excellence in teaching and research in higher studies worldwide, foster dialogue between the academic world and society, against policy makers, civil servants, civil society, representative of different level of education, and all the media channels. Also to generate knowledge and insight in support of EU policy making and strengthen the role of the EU within Europe and the world. And as I said previously, to reach out the wider public beyond the academia and specialized audience. So to say this, that to bring EU, the knowledge of EU closer to the society in general. And then to function as a vector for public diplomacy to our partner third countries. So as I said, also promoting EU values and enhancing the visibility of what the EU stands for and what it wants to achieve. So concrete data, the modules is the, let's say the, we can say the first action we can, if you, it's the first time that you want to apply, I would consider the modules as a first step to run such a project. Because chair and set of excellence is a step forward, I will explain that. So modules are actually short teaching program, or courses in the field of European Union studies, of course, and offer at higher education institution. It's concentrate on a particular discipline on European studies, but can be, and is also welcome to be multidisciplinary in approach, and therefore call upon the academic input of several professors and experts. So in concrete, here the minimum is 40 teaching hours per year. Summer courses are allowed. this teaching hours, this 40 teaching hours can be dealt with different professors. For instance, the academic coordinator or the module leader of the project, if selected, can, for instance, deliver only 2 or 3 hours because he has other type of activities within the project to do, and other professor will do the rest of the teaching on it to reach the minimum of 40 teaching hours actually. So then we have the chairs. That is quite a higher level of project because the teaching is done in also in a specialization of European Union studies for university professor, and Jean Etche is held by only one professor. He has to get. He may also have a team, but he has to do a team to support and enhance his activities, including provision of additional teaching hours. That will say that one teacher, one professor at own at the has to deliver 90 teaching hours per year. Then after this 90 hours, other professor, of course, can be part of the project of the chair, but it's only one professor who has to teach minimum teaching hours. Of course, I will explain that later on. That is the main activity. Actually, the budget will be based on the teaching hours, but of course, the project should be should have in the French different extra activities, such even organized organization, even implementation, publication, book. That can be reconfort the basis that is the teaching house actually. So after the chairs, we have the center of excellence. That's for that is that it should be already a person who has dealt with for years with European studies, European integration in the academic level. There's only one center of excellence per university, per higher education, sorry, it's institution. So 2 center of excellence can apply, but only one will be select, but there will be only one center of excellence by institution. And so the Jean Monnet Center of Excellence I say focal points of competence and knowledge on the European Union subjects. And then they gather expertise and competence of high-level experts, is what I say, having to develop synergies between various disciplines and resources in European studies, as well as creating joint transnational activities. Jean Monnet centers have a major role in reaching out students from faculties not normally dealing with European Union studies, as well as to policymakers, stakeholders, civil servants, and civil society in general. When you say switching out to students from other faculty not dealing with Jean Monnet activities, we have known that for years, 10 years. Of course, it's often professor from in the law area or economic area or political science area that apply for Jean Monnet. Of course, it is more practical to share ideas with potential colleagues of universities for other countries in the European Union. And it's more difficult when you make that in a pure physics, chemistry, and so on. But the idea of the Center of Excellence is via event or module to try to also kept the attention of this kind of students, to make them aware of the European Union in general. And here, it is also a lump sum as for the model and share, but here it will be by I will explain that as a working package actually. And here it is 80%. The co-financing is 80%. The other 20% is coming from the university, while actually the module and share is 75. Okay, so we enter the two new activities that have been built for this new MFF. As is the idea is to promote EU activities and what the EU finally does for the civil society, for the citizens, because we have marked that in school that is not very often deliver in the teaching course in general. So the aim, as it's written, is promote the better understanding of the EU and the functioning of institution among schools and vet providers, because there's this two level of education that are less touched by the EU in general. So here the teacher training is to prepare training package on EU subject for schools and vet providers, to train teacher so that themselves can afterwards give some little module in the classes, and so it is to teacher interest in EU and willing to integrate EU subject in their daily work. And at the end is to foster confidence of teachers in integrating an EU angle in their daily work actually. That is, and both activity here are has a quite higher EU contribution, as you can see. This is up to 300,000 euro for also a 3 years duration. It is based on customized lump sum, as I said, so it's a really package. So, for instance, you organize a big conference, it's one package. You organize a seminar or 2-3 seminar about a same activity, it will be another package and so on. And you have to put a budget in each package, and we will see if this budget is in good proportion compared to the activity, the planned activity. So the last one activity, that is a network that must contain at least 5 schools and or vet providers established in the 3 different Erasmus program countries. So this is in the same area, but in this action, the network has the role to facilitate a common understanding on EU learning, on learning of methodology, about European Union matters. It's in the general information, exchange of good practice, in order to have a good start point to learn the teacher for future module in their own schools. And here also, as I said, the financing from EU is quite high. It is 300,000 as well. So okay, so it's a funding mechanism. So actually, there is no more budget base. The budget, as we all know, the budget with different categories, budget headings with a staff cost, travel costs, and subcontracting costs, and so on and so on. And it's each time it's a lump sum. This lump sum, you can do what you want with this lump sum, this proposed lump sum. Any activities, of course, linked to the project. So the calcul of the budget will be facilitated, and of course for us also at the end to validate the reports. So as I said, lump sum. I leave this slide because I just tell you what it is. So that is for module share. It is in the guideline for applicant when you apply for a project, for an activity. Sorry, the guideline is at disposal on the funding and tender portal, and that is the table following the package of countries actually. So as you can see, for module in the first table, Belgium is at the last column. If you reach between 120 till 150 teaching hours during 3 years, the maximum is in 28,000 euro of EU funds. And to get the maximum, you have at least make 150 teaching hours during the 3 years, and so on and so on. It's the same for the chess. So as I said, this fixed lump sum can comprise different costs as written here on the slide. It is no way how you divide this cost for the different budget source. That's at your own actually. So what I said in the details. So this budget present as detailed. That is for Center of Excellence and teacher training and networks, and the big activities. So it's by budget present as detailed and current work package. Activities for each work package must be outlined in detail. Applicant must provide breakdown of estimated cost, showing to the share per work package. So type of course, I just say staff, travel, etc., etc. So that is the last point, very important, of course, because the Raj criteria adds the basis to build an application. Though there are four Raj criteria: relevance of the project, quality design, implementation, the quality of the partnership and cooperation arrangement. Partnership does not mean only the partner in different countries. No, it's partnership between your team, or we will be interacting during the project. And the last one is the impact, dissemination, sustainability of the project itself after the funds of the project, the funding of the project. Sorry. So, of course, this right criteria will be assessed based on points. So each points are maximum 25 under 100, and to to reach the threshold, you must have at least 15 out of 25 points, and in general, 70 out of 100. So the relevance, of course, is to meet the objective for the genre action. Each time you follow what is written in the guidelines for applicant. So the guideline is there are three parts, part A, B, C. The part E is the Erasmus Plus program in general. The part B is the detailed per action. And the part C is more I would say, the arrangement and technical and financial application. So of course, the relevance, you have to meet the project and the genre of the objective, of the priorities of the genre action. How do you reach the priority target groups? I remind you that it is especially objectives that we are mentioning in the German action, and the priorities. Most of them is based on the 6 priorities set by Ursula Andres in the December 2019. If you go to European Union on Google, you type priorities, and we have the 6 priorities. So such as Green Deal, new innovation in technology, communication, a more economic powerful European Union, and so on. So of course, if your project can touch one of these priorities, it is of course welcome in the evaluation of the project. Second point, quality of project design implementation. How do you plan to do your project? What is the methodology for each activity? The novelty, feasibility of the project. Why it is only 2% or should be 4% for this action, and so on. For it is the building of the project as such, the management, how we contribute to the project, what is the role of everybody, the course of the project objectives and activities, of course, and of course as well, you have to monitor your own project and to have an evaluation strategy. So, for example, the evaluation form after a teaching course or after a conference. It's a good opportunity for you to get feedback and maybe to improve some of part of activities. So that is the third one. That is so the partnership and cooperation arrangements. Of course, the project holder has to have a profile and expertise in the European studies. That's the base. Of course, for a module that can be more or less acceptable is, for instance, for young PhD, less than 5 years. Of course, it cannot be a very expert in European studies as such, but can be supported by another professor in the background to make the project feasible. The profile and experience of project holder and key staff involved in the activities proposed in the project, both in terms of European Union studies and in terms of specific themes addressed by the proposal. Evidence of the level of experience in research in EU studies. Okay, that is last one, but very important as well, is the way you are disseminate your outcome your publication to the public sphere, I would say, to the citizen and to the Erasmus Plus sphere as well. Though, of course, the expected impact of the project by having a long-lasting effect, that we say that we would like that your project, even after the grant period, is sustainable and has still effect in the future. Of course, it's not for that you cannot apply again, but you cannot apply with the same project. It should be each time by good innovation and the activities. The decimation of outcome within and outside the institution hosting the Jean Monnet action. For that, we will have Erasmus project result platform, where all the results of the terminated project are gathered and can be consulted by anyone connecting to the Erasmus, to this platform. So raising awareness of project and readiness, that's what I said, enhancing visibility of participant and organization. Reaching out to group outside the higher education institution, transferability and translation into new policies and improved practice, the extent to which the simulation tool favoring will reach the target audience via media exposure, different channels of media, social media publication, even, etc. Facebook, Twitter, and so on. And then that is new actually, and the sustainability and continuation, not of the proposal of the project itself because it's terminate, but of the activities we have put in place, and so the sphere of the project should be exist beyond the limit of the financial period. So what is that is the famous date that we all hope to get from 4 weeks now, but we got this date actually 5 or 6 days last week. Yeah, beginning last week. So no, actually the publication was done in 25th of March, but the access to submission was only done last week. The submission is the deadline is 2 of June, 5 p.m. The evaluation period is June-September 2020. The notification is maximum 5 months after the submission deadline. So I hope that you will be notified around mid-October, end of October. I hope so. And the preparation agreement is maximum 8 months after the submission deadline. Of course, this period can be for some time it can be together. It's not fixed, but the deadline that is fixed, it is based on a financial regulation. I'll give you some tips to submit a good proposal. So an application should have to reflect that the combination of all its elements will produce concrete and sustainable results. A good interaction between all the activities. To be ready a consensus based by all the team members. Okay, that is one project holder that will written the application, but why not to write this application with other team member to gather ideas, to 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 do it with a team spirit actually. Um, should have also received the institutional compromise and the support of the legal representative. So here the Flemish, in Belgium actually, is the rector. Most of them is the rector or maybe a director. And you should have the support of the legal representative, and maybe to before submitted to before submission, maybe to contact him to see if it is okay, because you don't have to forget that the finance, the co-financing is made between the institution and the European Commission. Is not you as such, as one person, is of course the institution, and the institution is represented by the legal representative. So, and at the end, is said to be ready to start at the time of the notification of the potential attribution. Yeah, if you are selected, you have to be ready to start your activities. Normally, the activities, as written in the end, the activities start at the signature of the grant agreement by the EC or grant decision for your member state. That we say that normally the use of the budget can only start at this time, when my head of unit signed the grant decision, and that you will receive by authorized signature. But at the request of the coordinator, if you're selected, you can ask by email to start your activity previously to this date, if it is supported by good arguments. So what is quite the end? So now to apply, there is this new also. All is done with this internet website. This is the funding and tender opportunities portal. This portal is at disposition of most of the projects and most of the call for proposal, call for tenders of the European Commission. So even for agriculture, for justice, and so on, all is done via this platform. So it's a huge platform. So it is a publication, and then the technical, if there are, or the final reports, it will be there also. The feeding of the Erasmus Plus result platform as well is there. So that is the main address important in this context. Well, that's a little bit the statistics. That is last year we received 1,447 applications. Out of them, 362 were selected, and the budget was 21 million euro. This year is 30 million euro actually. And yeah, also, but it's only for your information. And in the Jean Monnet, we are also dealing with a designated institution, and there are 7 designated institutions in the European Union. It is, I think you know, part of them is the College of Bruges, is the European Institute in Italy, European Institute in Italy. You have the College of Bruges, but at Natolin in Poland, etc. So you have 7 designated institutions that we say that they are. It's based on the work program, but they are each year they are financed by the European Commission. Also an overview in the past. So the first number is the application received and the application selected for Belgium. The two last action does not exist anymore. The first one since 2015 is support institution is no more existing, and support to association is no more existing as well, because the participation was less and less years after years. One of the famous one is a Flemish professor, you know him, maybe it's Beckemans, with in the Rijkenveld Institute in Dam. So yes, useful link, as I said, that is the link very important that you can have in your favorites if you want. The Monnet is inside that, but you have the direct link. The Erasmus platform for the dissemination of your website, of your results, is here. If you are selected, you have to start, you should start more or less at the beginning of the project, so that you don't have to fill in all the things at the end of the project. And that is the general email address. This all functional mailbox for Jean Monnet. And that is mine. Just a mail if you want to contact me. No problem to help you if you desire. Okay, that's it.
So thank you.
Thank you for listening me.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. I have, in fact, only two small questions. I received an email with the question if the slides will be made available after this session. But I assume yes.
Sure.
So I propose that
I will send you by email.
if you send it by email, then I will send it to the participants. So that's one. And then I have a question about the content, and it's regarding the modules. And the question is, if the 40 hours that has to be done, can they be divided between different subjects?
Yes, multidisciplinary. Also welcome, yes, of course. Of course, it's maybe more difficult, could be more difficult to have a link between the activities as it is multidisciplinary, but you have to think a common approach, actually, to deliver these multidisciplinary activities. To be noted as well that the 40 teaching, you can, part of the 40, you can invite a guest lecturer from another European university, actually. That's it's also eligible.
Yes, that is a very clear answer. There's also another question. Well, I think it's our two questions, in fact. The first one, can the same course be offered at the different campuses of the same university? And then count to the total number. That's the first part. And the second part, can we teach, for instance, for two groups of students as a different subject and count the total hours for the two groups per year? I hope the question is clear.
Not the beginning.
The beginning, so can the same course be offered at different campuses of the same university?
Okay, campuses. I understand.
And then count the total numbers of hours together.
Within one
university.
Yeah, that's not the problem. Yeah.
So that, for instance, in one campus is you have 20 hours, and in a second campus that there are another 20 hours, and it counts together as 40 hours. So that is possible. So can we teach, for instance, for two groups of students as a different subject and count the total hours for the two groups per year? I think yes, it's a similar question. The answer is yes as well, of course.
That's right.
These are the only questions that I have at the moment in the chat. If someone would like to ask a question you can raise your hand and I can give you the floor. So if you want ask a question, you can raise your hand or still put a question in the chat. But I don't see anything happening. So I assume that everything is very clear for everyone.
Anyway, I can answer the question afterwards.
Yes, and
email or there's no problem.
Yes, that's.
I will add another thing for the chair. The chair is linked to the university, so the chair holder cannot leave the university without finishing his chair teaching hours for this chair. Otherwise, he has to replace by another professor with equivalent profile and skills and competence, actually.
And in that case, the hours that has already been performed by the first chair, do they count for the second one as well? Or do the second one has to start over again with the 90 hours?
No. For the continuation of the teaching hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very rare, but it can be that a professor has of course, like everybody in the lives, have an opportunity to go in the United States, or I don't know, to get another job. It could be he has to find someone to terminate the teaching hours for the end of the project. Okay.
And is there also a maximum number of hours that the invited lecturer may teach?
For the chairs?
That's not really indicated. Gracienne, could you please indicate? For the module, she said.
So can you repeat, sorry?
So for the module, is there a maximum number of hours that the invited lecturer may teach?
No. The only constraint is the minimum 40 hours a year.
Okay. Then there was there is another question. Someone is wondering if the universities of applied science, and the system in Belgium, already applied for this program, or only or mostly universities have applied in Flanders or in Belgium until now.
I will not hide things that most of the projects are coming from Flemish University. Bravo. Yeah, for the Wallonia, we don't have a lot of ULB, yes, ULB, VUB, KUL. If you want, I can give you some name of teacher dealing with Jean Monnet project for years. For instance, in KUL is Kolja Robe. I don't know if you know him. In Antwerpen, I have also I don't remember. I can check if you want. I can.
And do you have an idea, like we say in Flemish, the hogescholen? We call them universiteiten and hogescholen.
If hogescholen, for instance, no, I never did. I never had. No.
Yeah.
So the door is open.
Yes. So this is really a very warm invitation for the universities of applied science to start with these kinds of activities as well, because Jean Monnet is a really important aspect or action within the Erasmus Plus program as well. So for those higher education institutions, please do start with these applications.
That's right. Yeah.
And there is another question coming in. We are discussing with a colleague your answer, and it seems that we have a different understanding about the answer.
Okay.
Therefore, we would like if you could clarify. Can then 40 teaching hours be on different subjects? But otherwise, Gracienne, you take the floor, and please unmute yourself and explain a little bit.
Yes.
Well,
sorry.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much for your nice explanation and patience.
No problem.
To the question. We have a question about the module. Is it possible that we teach a module but in the European studies and on European values, but for two different target groups? within 2 different programs. So it means 20 hours, for example, for master students specialized in law, and 20 hours for non-law students, but also master students.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
that we have to adapt the course, and then calculate these both. Well, actually, we are not speaking about one module. A module developed by 2
no, it could be sub-modules, for instance.
Sub-modules.
Well, we don't have that, but you can present that by sub-module, of course, but there is only one financial declarations. It's one budget for all. But you can present in the project description that with like different sub-module.
So it's possible that we have a sub-module for experts or people focusing on particular problems of EU law for 20 students and 20 hours. And then we have a more general accessible module, sub-module, 20 hours for 60 students.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's no problem.
Okay.
So the first, so you mean that is the master class for one side, and the other side?
A master class, but 2 different target groups.
Okay. No, what would be nice, appreciate, is that maybe you create, even in the fringe of the teaching halls, like seminars or little conference, I don't know, and you gather all the students in this to have some connection between to get a module that is interactive between different actors.
Okay, so an interactive and interdisciplinary.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for your answer. Thank you.
Welcome, no problem.
Okay, is there still someone else who would like to raise a question? Now you have the time. No one else? When I look at the clock, we had. Oh yes, I see Eugenia, who is raising her hand. So Eugenia, please.
Hi, hello. Sorry, it's really linked from the previous question, which was then led to the creation of submodels. It's again on Jean Monnet teaching models. So once you make the application, this application will be on one main subject, but then you can also indicate that within the subject you will create submodels. So there will be a specialization or a differentiation between the hours that you're teaching within the same broad, let's say, field of expertise.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
Because we got some questions from professors as well. If within the application you could actually develop as then Gracian said, submodels, but really for different disciplines as well. Not only within, I don't know, European law in, I don't know, the European law on the sea and something else, but really European law or European migration policies.
Yeah.
Can you really have within your own application for the teaching models different contents for the different?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
That is possible and eligible. But as I said, you should find interact activities between all these submodules. So to gather the student in events or make them reflect on peer-to-peer or on papers. I don't know.
Okay, now it's okay because we got this question and I was not sure if you could use this 40 academic hours per year with a different topic as well.
Yeah.
So thank you.
All right, welcome.
So another question in the chat. For this new Teacher Jean Monnet application, can it consist of making fully open online tutorials only, or do we need to have face-to-face teaching blended learning? You want me to repeat it, or?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Actually, the teaching hours are face-to-face. That is the base. Of course, with the pandemic situation, that can be online, but you cannot a face-to-face. I would say not individual. It should be a class with different students. You cannot teach to one student. That is not accepted. Tutorial. When you mean the tutorial is like MOOC or something like that.
The person who asked the question said, "Okay, thank you."
Well, the tutorial, I mean the open source tutorials that you find on the academies, open university tutorials, actually.
This tutorial is part of the ECTS that you will grant the student?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Oh, of course, that can be. Okay.
Okay, so then we have to explain it, that this is actually a kind of open university course.
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay. So if I look at the time, we are 5 minutes over time. So I would suggest, if there are no really urgent questions, that we will conclude here. And if you still have questions, you can still address Mr. Lahou by email. And sure. I'm sure that he will give, as soon as he can, a good answer to all your questions. And I would like to thank him for his participation in this session as well.
No problem.
And the clear presentation. And so I would also like to thank everyone for being in this information session and your interest in the Jean Monnet actions. As I said, they are really important in the Erasmus Plus program as well as the other actions. And I would also like to invite the Hogescholen again once more to start with this with this action, and everyone to make sure that for the next statistics for the coming years that we will again in the top of the best learners or the best practices in Europe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your participation as well. So as Josh said, I will be there to answer your question unless I'm in holiday, but that's okay. No problem. You can call me or to email me. That's not a problem. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yes,
Josh,
you too. Yes.
Please stay in touch. I will send you the presentation. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.